Hello everyone, in this video I'll show you how to use the Chroma Art Photoshop action. Before we get started, let's view a few examples. This action turns images into multicolored rainbow contemporary arts. So you need to open your image and you need to mark the main subject area and run the action. It will give you some effect like this. It also has a light mode which gives you a whiter background, and it also has a dark mode which gives you a black background. You just need to open your image and mark the subject area and run the action. There are various levels of customization. You can hide individual layer and splatter elements, and you can customize the final effect. We'll go into details when we run the action and customize the final result. We also have 10 predefined color presets which you can just show by one click, and it'll apply different color effects. You can mix and match these different color effects and create your own unique style. Okay, so let's open our image. We'll be using this image, and make sure that the image is a locked background layer. In case it's not, like if you cropped it or made some other adjustments, it might look like this, a layer 0 or something else, but not a background layer. In this case you have to turn it to a background locked layer, otherwise the action will not work properly. To do that, go to layer, new, background from layer. As you can see, it has converted it into a background locked layer. Now you need to check a few things for the action to work properly. Go to image, mode, and make sure that RGB color and 8 bits per channel is selected. Also click this flyout list and click panel options, and make sure use default masks on fill layers and add copy to copied layers and groups are checked. Well, now a quick tip regarding image size. The action works best with images of height or width the maximum of 3500 pixels. So if your image is lesser than that, you can simply increase it to fit the recommended dimensions and resize your image. If it becomes blurry, you can, anytime after you apply the final effect, you can always resize it down to your original size. Okay, now let's load the action. To bring out the action panels, go to window and actions. Here click this flyout list and select load actions. Select the Chroma Art Photoshop action from the download package and click load. So here the Chroma Art Photoshop action has been loaded, and it has got 4 color modes. You can run any one of them. Now let's load the brush. To do that, click this brush icon and click this drop down menu, and then click this small gear icon and select load brushes. Select the Chroma Art brushes which came in the download package and click load. You see the brushes have come appeared in this brush panel, and one thing you need to make sure is that the opacity and the flow must be 100% for the action to work properly. Next, let's load the patterns. Go to edit, preset, and preset manager, change the patterns, click load. Select the Chroma art patterns from the download package and hit load. Now we need to select our main subject. To do that, create a new layer by clicking this new layer icon, or Control N, or Command N if you are on a Mac, to create a new layer above the background layer. Now double click on the layer name to rename it and type subject. Make sure the subject is in lowercase. We need the layer to be in lowercase for the action to work properly. Now again select the background layer and use any mechanism which you find suitable for you to select your main subject layer. Here I'll be using a quick selection to quickly select our main subject. Now we'll fill it with any color. Select the subject layer and we'll select a brush and any color, and we'll brush over our main subject area. And deselect this selection. Now we have our background image and our subject selection ready. Now choose any of the color modes and click play. I'll select the color mode 3 and I'll hit play. I'll fast forward from here and wait for the action to finish. So we have the action finished. This is the final result that we got. So now let's go into details into the elements that were generated. So at the bottom we have our background textures, where we have the light texture and the dark one. Simply toggle between them to get the effect that you like. Now this is our subject elements, where we have our main picture, main subject image. This is the subject background elements, which consists of the main background region of the subject and the background splatters that come out around the subject. Over here we have the background black and white level. This creates this ash darker tone base of the main subject image, and we have this background drips. You can simply right click and duplicate this layer and move around a bit to create more depth. These are two background splatter smudged layers which are generated. You can select this layer masks and select any of the brushes provided in this pack and select color black and paint on the layer mask if you want to hide any region. I'll quickly undo this one. Now this is the subject image elements. Like we have this elements inside the image. So over here we have got few partial levels. So partial levels are partial colored regions of the main image. You can highlight any one of these or multiples to create depth. We also have a complete selection. which just fills the complete selection with color. You can highlight the subject background elements to get a clear look of what we are getting over here. And this is a custom layer where we can select the main this layer mask and take a brush from our pack and select color white, and we can brush over the areas where we want to show. Like sometimes it may happen that the main face is empty. We want to, like, we got something like this, so in that case we can just paint over this custom layer to reveal the face. Now we have this overlay elements. These are the additional splatters, drips and scratches that we have over the image. These are the overlay color elements, and these are the overlay black and white elements. So we can select any one of these layer masks and paint with color black if we want to hide parts of these splatters. I'll quickly undo this. Same goes for the black and white elements. You can simply hide them or show them, or select the layer mask and paint with black. I'll again undo this one. Next, we have additional textures and toning. We can reduce the opacity, increase them to get a more textured paper look, or we can hide it to minimize the effect. We have an additional contrast where we can change the opacity, or we can also duplicate this element. Right click and select duplicate. We have a more contrasting image. The black levels are more brightened up. I'll undo this one. Here now we have the 10 predefined color effects. We can simply toggle this visibility icon and select one of them. Or we can select two of them and paint on these layer masks to partially hide them so that the effect below this one becomes visible. We can create our own abstract color effect using this technique. Now we have the overall adjustment where we have an overall brightness adjustment and contrast adjustment layer. We have an overall levels, an overall hue and saturation, an overall curves, overall black and white, which will turn the image into a grayscale one. Overall gradient map, you can change this gradient map to your custom color. An overall gradient fill, where again you can change this to any gradient that you like. And we have an overall color fill. You can change this to any color you like to have a monochromatic look over the image. So if you don't like it, you can delete this complete folder, and you can again run in one of these four color modes, and select any one of them and hit play. So that's for now. See you again soon.